Hello stars, welcome back to my channel. Tonight I'm playing a psychological horror game called My Judgment, which was developed by sinhaleseunit. I'm sorry I've been away for a while. I have to say that my depression usually kicks in the worst in the summer for some reason. I think it also, the burnout from college and everything, so yeah, kind of like built up. But yeah, I wanted to make this video because this game is really interesting. I played it, I think last week. And yeah, it's really interesting. So I really have nothing else to say. So let's get into it. All right, so we have Monday to Friday. So let's get started with Monday. I'm gonna be honest. I'm not sure if this woman is like a judge or like a lawyer or something. Oh yeah, some of these court cases do involve some violence, so trigger warning for those that probably don't like to read about it or hear it. I mean, it's horror, so might as well grow a spine. Time to read. So, Alright, let's get started over here. On September 21st, 2023, the applicants, Milo, Shaggy, and Seven Fedora, collectively the applicants, were found guilty by a jury for the murder of John Doe. The imposition of sentence has been adjourned, and they now bring a constitutional challenge to the community standards, which mandates a blank for all adults convicted of murder. The facts of offense. Late on June 11th and into the early morning hours of June 12, 2020, John Doe attended at Block 8 Heights, Block 8, in the southeast parts of Greymore. Block 8 was the home of the applicant, Milo Shaggy, Mr. Doe, Mr. Shaggy, and the second applicant, Savin Fedora, were captured on video socializing in front of Block 8 on the driveway in front of the garage. The encounter seemed to be a happy one at first. The parties were seen laughing and hugging one another. However, at some point, things took a turn. Mr. Doe left Block 8 in his white Drano with Mr. Fedora as his passenger. Upon their return a short time later, Mr. Shaggy was clearly upset, and he brandished an object which looked like a firearm. He prodded Mr. Doe several times with it. Eventually, Mr. Doe left. Mr. Doe returned once in his car briefly after this, and Mr. Shaggy approached and kicked it. He also appeared to drive by on one further occasion but did not stop. Shortly after 1 a.m., Mr. Doe again returned to Block 8. He exited his car and was immediately confronted by an angry-looking Mr. Shaggy. As several times, the video footage captures Mr. Shaggy getting into Mr. Doe's face and space. Mr. Fedora initially got between Mr. Shaggy and Mr. Doe. Mr. Fedora then pushed Mr. Doe multiple times. As Mr. Doe turned to leave, Mr. Fedora can be seen grabbing his arm and his shoulders to prevent him from returning to his car. Mr. Doe was knocked to the ground by two men and then got up and was pursued by both. As they followed him, they positioned themselves between Mr. Doe and his motor vehicle, and it can be inferred that both were trying to prevent Mr. Doe from escaping. Mr. Fedora then punched Mr. Doe multiple times. Mr. Doe appeared to counterpunch Mr. Fedora in self-defense, and Mr. Fedora fell to the ground, as did Mr. Doe. Mr. Shaggy then kicked Mr. Doe, and both Mr. Shaggy and Mr. Fedora got on top of him. Mr. Fedora then got up and started to kick Mr. Doe while Mr. Shaggy was pinning him down on his back. About 1 minute later, Mr. Doe momentarily broke free and tried to scramble away to escape. Both Mr. Fedora and Mr. Shaggy pursued and restrained him, forcing him to the ground on the roadway. Over the next 10 to 15 minutes, Mr. Doe was punched, kicked, dragged about the roadway, and hit with the linked sword wielded by Mr. Fedora several times. At several times, Mr. Doe is seen trying to get up and get away, only to be beaten down again. The entire interaction was captured on the video surveillance of Block 8 and Block 9 Heights. Mr. Doe died in front of Block 9 Heights. The pathologist, Dr. Flamingo, determined the cause of death to be a wound that injured Mr. Doe's carotid artery. Alright. Oh wow, okay, so that was a pretty violent one. So you can see some kind of altercation happened between these three, I guess. Probably got angry with each other or something, and they decided to physically assault Mr. Doe to death. So when it comes to this, I think that they did this intent to harm, and it might as well, kill Mr. Doe. So I'm going to say life sentence after 25 years. I need to check on him. I guess we're in our house now. I'm being attacked. I don't know what's happening to me, but I am being hurt. Something is hurting me and I can't seem to stop it. I'm not crazy, I swear, but I hear hear these voices. They keep insulting me and calling me horrible things. I really don't know what's happening. I'm so scared. They've called the police multiple times and they've done nothing. That sounds accurate. Times of need, the police will never be there for you. Whatever's happening, I know the Lord will guide me to safety. I must put my faith in the Most High. Oh, the crib. Yeah, we'll figure this out. I hope that baby's alive. Alright, let's see if we can go back to it. Oh yeah, we do go to sleep. Time for Tuesday, y'all. I think someone spelled mitigating wrong. I love how they're basically saying that they can only allow us to read what they want us to read, which makes you wonder, just like how much of these cases get covered up. Okay, let's see. Introduction overview. On March 12, 2016, Robert Firebrand, the accused, was convicted and jury in Loudport left their blank in relation to the death of Ryan Shedletsky. His sentencing hearing took place in Loudport on March 29, 2016. Following the receipt of the jury recommendations pursuant to S745 of the community standards, and after hearing the submissions of both the Crown and the defense, and after having received the victim impact statements prepared by the mother of Mr. Shedletsky, I reserved my decision until April 6, 2016. These are my reasons for decision. Facts. The facts relating to this case are largely drawn from the accused's two statements to the police, the first to Officer A on November 3, 2010, and the second to Officer B on February 16, 2011. Additional facts are drawn from other witnesses who gave evidence during the course of the trial. Mr. Firebrand and his roommate attended Loudport Friendship Association hangout during the early morning hours of December 26, 2009, with the intention of stealing Boxy Cola and money they believed to be on the premises. A third person was keeping six or standing guard outside of the hangout while the accused and his friend entered the premises. The accused found out about Boxy Cola being kept on the premises through a friend who reportedly knew Ryan Shedletsky. Neither the accused nor his roommate knew Mr. Shedletsky. The accused was dressed in all black, wearing a hoodie, old pants, old shoes, and gloves when the incident occurred. Immediately prior to going to the hangout, the accused and his two accomplices were captured on the in-store security video at the Mac store located in the same strip mall as the hangout. Entry was gained when the accused and his roommate banged on the back door of the hangout and announced they were the police. Mr. Shedletsky opened the door crack, at which point he realized that they were not police officers. The accused roommate then grabbed Mr. Shedletsky, at which point a fight broke in the alley, where they all moved inside the hangout. Mr. Shedletsky was reported to have put up a scrap and was beating on the accused roommate. Mr. Shedletsky ran through the hangout trying to get away, pursued by the accused and his roommate. During the pursuit, the accused shot Mr. Shedletsky twice in the lower back. After the shooting, the accused and his roommate took off on foot down the dark alley behind the strip mall and the residence of an aunt of one of the accused's accomplices. The accused later burned his clothing and shoes in a 45-gallon drum. While the accused told Officer B that they took 15 liters of Boxy Cola and $10K cash during the robbery. None of the witnesses saw any large items in the hands of anyone observed in the back alley around the time of the shooting. After the shooting, the police determined that there was money in the hangout's cash register and in a tip jar. An autopsy was conducted on Ryan Shaleski, wherein it was determined that he died from 2 gunshot wounds to trunk. Mitigating circumstances. The defense urged me to find the following mitigating circumstances. A. Strong family support. B. Accused behavior on release. C. The accused's lengthy period of pretrial custody, including 4.5 years spent on remand. As previously discussed, this is not a factor that can be properly taken into consideration when fixing the period of parole ineligibility. D. The accused's efforts to rehabilitate himself and turn his life around. I accept the representations made on behalf of the accused that he's been Bloxy-Cola free for a number of years and he's fully motivated to attend counseling. Okay, so all that last part was saying that this guy basically went through like rehab and counseling and all of that to like, I guess, as a way to like lower his sentence or something like that. Or like the verdict, whatever. But anyway, it's obvious that this guy and his accomplice had the intent to rob and kill Mr. Shaleski. So, I think I'm going to choose life sentence. Parole eligible after 25 years again. But I mean, like, you know, parole after 10 to 25 years. Well, I'm not gonna lie, you know, most of the people who go into rehab and counseling stuff just want to get out faster. That doesn't mean that they feel remorse or anything. I'm just saying. I went online and I realized I was not alone. There are many people who are going through the same thing as me. Many people. What does that mean? It's been the neighbors this whole time. They're the ones speaking. Okay, it was many people, and it's obvious that we're kind of neurodivergent, aren't we? I feel it. I'm being gang stalked. That is the only way to explain what's happening. Wherever I go, I always hear the voices. And I know 100% the neighbors above me or behind us. Interesting. The upstairs neighbors are using synthetic telepathy. They put a device on the floor and that's why I can feel my veins pulsing. That's why my heart is beating and rolling. Why are they attacking me? Why? The upstairs neighbor are using okay, that's the same. Henry Venomshank. He's the ringleader behind Alva's from upstairs. My life is in danger. He's slowly trying to kill me. Well, the baby's still alive. Oh, the baby's alive. I have no choice but to fight back. I seriously feel like this baby's dead. Are we like a serial killer or something? I feel like we are. Or maybe we're the judge or something. Time for Wednesday. Alright. Facts. On January 7, 2010, Noob Noob Gesto viciously attacked and beat Kai Valkyrie over a 10-minute period on an LRT train in front of numerous passengers. Mr. Valkyrie was placed on life support and died 2 days later. The attack appeared to be unprovoked. The circumstances of the offense were summarized at paras 8 to 10 of the reasons of the sentencing judge reported are V. Gesto. Kai Valkyrie died in the hospital on Saturday, January 27, 2010, 2 days after Mr. Gesto viciously attacked and beat him on an LRT train. Mr. Valkyrie boarded the train at Bilderman Station. Mr. D was already a passenger on the train. As the train proceeded from Bilderman to Abbygate Station, there was a physical altercation between Gesto and Valkyrie. The altercation consisted of Gesto beating Valkyrie, who tried unsuccessfully to keep away from Gesto. Witnesses heard Valkyrie telling Gesto to stop, to leave him alone, to get away from him, and to not hit him. Valkyrie's words had no effect on Gesto. He continued to attack Valkyrie. Valkyrie did not fight back. By the time the train reached Abbygate Station, Valkyrie was on the floor of the train and Gesto was kicking him. All the other passengers on the train car exited Abbygate Station. As the train continued to the next station, Spawn Point, Mr. Gesto continued to beat Valkyrie. Gesto exited the train at Spawn Point, leaving Valkyrie unconscious on the floor of the train car. Gesto was arrested as he walked away from the train station. Valkyrie was taken to the hospital. He did not recover consciousness before he died. Dr. Creek, the medical examiner, testified that Valkyrie died as a result of blunt cranial trauma because of head injuries. The restatement of facts contained this fact. On the morning of January 30, 2010, a detective told Gesto that Valkyrie was not expected to live. In response, Gesto said that something to this effect: "He's going to be alright. I know he's going to be okay. He's a tough kid." Before the trial, while on remand, Gesto's fitness to stand trial was put into issue following deterioration in his mental state. It was apparent to the treating psychiatrist, Dr. Lena, that the onset of deterioration was caused by Gesto's consumption of large quantities of oxycodone. Gesto was found fit to stand trial. At trial, Gesto pled not guilty to blank murder, but acknowledged that he attacked Valkyrie and the attack caused Valkyrie's death. The only issue at trial was whether Gesto had the necessary intent for blank. Evidence at trial included testimony from the other passengers on the train, testimony from police and EMS who were at the scene, and videos from the police station platforms from inside the train car where the attack took place. The Crown tendered expert evidence of two forensic psychiatrists, Dr. Stick and Dr. Lena. Gesto tendered expert evidence from a neuropsychologist, Dr. Jake. The jury charge contained a detailed summary of the evidence of each expert. Gesto's mother also testified. Dr. Jake was of the opinion that Gesto does not have the ability to realize that his actions are likely to cause death. Dr. Jake was also of the opinion that Gesto has a mild to moderate but not severe intellectual disability. Portions of Dr. Jake's report were redacted at trial, but the entire report was entered as exhibit for sentencing. Dr. Jake was the only expert to conduct an in-depth assessment of Gesto. Dr. Lana, who met with Gesto only once a few weeks before the trial, was of the opinion that Gesto has the mental health capacity to form the intent required for blank, being intent to cause death or intent to cause bodily harm that he would know is likely to cause death. Dr. Stick, who never met Gesto, expressed his opinion that a person with a mild to moderate intellectual disability, one, could, but might not have the mental capacity to form the intent to cause death, and two, more likely than not, would have the mental capacity to form the intent to cause bodily harm that they would know was likely to cause death. The mitigating factors included Mr. Gesto's intellectual and cognitive impairments and Gesto's background as set out in the pre-sentence report and guest report. Both of Gesto's parents experienced the Guest Act. Both stated this had a significant impact on their family life. The guest report included: in reviewing the list of relevant and applicable guest factors, and as revealed within the guest report interviews, we find that Gesto, a guest, has experienced, witnessed, and been personally and significantly impacted by the specific guest-related factors to the Guest Act, expressed in the dislocation and dispossession of guest peoples, including family and community histories of violence, psychological predation, and victimization. Family and community histories of violence, psychological predation, and victimization, poverty and poor living conditions, discrimination, and the loss and struggle of culture and spiritual identity. Consequently, Noob Gesto continues to experience intergenerational effects stemming from his family's shared intergenerational impacts of Guest Act. consequential to witness and experience parental, extended family, and community violence, crime, and poverty, and specifically from industry guests, so early conditioning to directed violence, bloxicola use, criminal activity, and gang involvement, and historical, psychological concerns currently being studied, treated, and addressed. Okay. So this guy, who appears to be an immigrant, by the way, just goes and starts randomly assaulting this guy, who seems to be younger than him, by the way. And apparently, it's because he might be suffering from abuse and being forced into crime and all of that. But I feel like that can be a partial excuse, but that's not an excuse to just go up and physically assault someone that you don't even know, and especially if the attack was unprovoked. So because it's not a mental disorder, I'm gonna do the same thing. Okay. But I'm just saying, honestly, that guy deserves life in prison. Don't repeat this cycle, guys. You can always do better. I wonder if we're that good. I can't take this anymore. The only way this will end is if I protect myself. I hope he didn't kill our child. If I do anything, is all in defense and to help the greater cause. He can go about it legally, the right way, or you can do the defense way, because the Most High is the judge of all. And he will judge you for your doings and actions. The religious one, are you? You can justify for certain things that is according to the law of the Most High. People get murdered in self-defense mixed up. Self-defense is justified. If I go to jail, it is for defending myself. Sure, Jan. There you go. Someone save this kid. Time for Thursday. Her verse is easy. Let's see. No, this judgment uses initials to protect the identity. Okay. Background. Easy was born in 1984. He's a biological son of the deceased. PZ is the oh my god. Why can't we just come up with names, guys? SC was the wife of EZ, TD was his sister-in-law. KZ's you know, I'm not even gonna say their names. At the time of the event, and the deceased resided in separate residences of the same rural property in Linder. E lived in the main residence on the property with his wife and 5 children. The deceased lived alone in a small cabin. On May 4, 2014, E's family hosted a lunchtime family gathering at their home. In attendance were E's children, T, and her children. The plan was to stay outside, enjoy a campfire, and cook hot dogs. E went into the house to find something to open the packaging of the hot dogs. He emerged from the house, approached S, and grabbed her by the shoulder. He told S to pack up the kids and go to Uffington, town where her mother resides. E turned and walked away from S towards the deceased cabin, which was approximately 100 yards away from the main house. E entered the deceased cabin. E's son, K, was in the cabin with the deceased. E became angry and began to yell at the deceased. E punched the deceased with a closed fist. The fourth of the punches caused the deceased to fall off the chair and onto the floor. He continued to punch the deceased when he was laying on the ground. S observed L riding his bike from the deceased cabin. K told S what was happening. S ran to the deceased cabin and went inside. E was standing near the deceased. He was laying on the floor. S screamed at E to leave. E did not leave. S called the police. While S was on the line with police, E made a telephone call to his brother, and the keys left a voicemail message for P stating, "I just confronted our family demon that ruined everybody's lives. I need your backup in court for what he did and how he ruined everybody's life. I have to save my family and I don't care about anything else. Call me back when you get this as soon as possible." E continued to yell at the deceased. E told S to get out of the deceased cabin or she would get hurt. S ran out of the cabin and down to her family. The deceased suffered many wounds. The defense notes E voluntarily surrendered to the police shortly after the event and admitted from the outset that he had caused the death of his father. The circumstances of the offense were presented by way of an agreed statement of facts. The only issue to be determined at trial was E's ability to appreciate the nature and quality of his actions at the time of the index offense. The defense notes that the court found that E reacted in response to suppressed memories. While retaliation is not excused for the acts, E's trauma provides insight into his distorted thinking, leading to the commission of the offense. Although there was a motive and the act was not random, there was no premeditation or planning. These findings significantly reduce E's degree of moral culpability. While E did not enter a guilty plea, E admitted the facts of the offense and he took responsibility for causing the death of his father. He has demonstrated significant remorse since the offense and continues to suffer from major depression, though he has been successful with treatment in this regard. E has been in custody since the date of the index offense, May 4, 2014. He's been cooperative and compliant since his arrest, and there have been no concerns about his conduct while he has been in custody. He has been medication compliant since his diagnosis and has demonstrated significant progress towards his ultimate rehabilitation. No institutional problems have been reported, and he has been moved to medium security facility. Though this was a violent offense, E demonstrates is of otherwise good character. Nice chat, GPT. He has no criminal record and is a very low risk of reoffending. Okay. So, E seems to be suffering with PTSD that his father most likely gave to him. I guess he took it upon himself, which is called vigilante justice upon his abuser. And to me, I feel like his depression stems from the trauma that he received. So, I'm going to do life sentence, parole eligible to 10 to 25 years. Nice. Bells are finally ringing. No notes over here. Please don't let this child be dead. Going to read all that. Are they what I mentioned before I watched this and then my heart rate would slow and start beating really? I'm not gonna read all that because it's so blurry and shit. Please be alive. I will do anything to protect you. Welfare check, someone please. confident in letting them even kill you, not afraid to state the truth. Oh man, I don't even want to know what we're about to do right now. That's unfortunate. It's too bad we can't get out. Time for Friday. R versus Dexter Dominus. That must be the guy who we really were. On November 29, 2021, at approximately 4:25 p.m., Dexter Dominus shot and killed Henry Venom Shake in the underground parking garage at Mr. Venom Shake's residence as Mr. Venom Shake was stepping out his vehicle. Much of the evidence in this case was omitted by way of agreed statements of fact. The omitted facts prove the essential elements of the offense of blank beyond reasonable doubt. It is admitted that Mr. Dominus was a registered firearms owner who obtained firearms beginning in November 2020. He took one of those firearms on November 29, 2021 and drove to the residential building where he knew Mr. Venom Shake lived. Mr. Dominus saw Mr. Venom Shake drive into the underground parking. He followed Mr. Venom Shake's car. He drove up to Mr. Venom Shake and shot and killed him. Unless I found him to be not criminally responsible for the murder on blank, Mr. Dominus was found guilty of blank, having committed a planned, deliberate, and intentional killing. Mr. Dominus has been assessed by 2 forensic psychiatrists, both of whom concluded that Mr. Dominus has schizophrenia, a major mental illness characterized in his case predominantly by delusions and hallucinations. He was actively psychotic at the time that he killed Mr. Venom Shake. He experienced paranoid delusions and hallucinations. He believed that Mr. Venom Shake and others were tormenting and attacking him and his family. In this case, the Crown does not dispute that the evidence supports the following findings on a balance of probabilities: that Mr. Dominus had a mental disorder, schizophrenia, at the time that he killed Mr. Venom Shake, and that he was at the time experiencing symptoms of the psychotic illness. Mr. Dominus admits he did not know, was not capable of knowing, that society with views his actions is morally wrong. The position of the Crown is that Mr. Dominus has failed to prove on a balance of probabilities that his mental illness rendered him incapable of knowing the moral wrongfulness of his actions. Evidence. The personal history of Mr. Dominus in the course of his illness is set out in detail in the testimony reports of 2 psychiatric witnesses in this case, Dr. Rudy Groot and Dr. Gus. Mr. Dominus was born and grew up in Greymore. He was 39 years old at the time of trial and 37 years old at the time of the offense. He is the youngest of 7 children. His parents separated when he was 12 years old, but both parents remained involved with Mr. Dominus' siblings. Mr. Dominus completed high school with no serious issues. He briefly attended Edmund Shower College. Mr. Dominus worked in many jobs after leaving school, including as a bus driver. Mr. Dominus had no criminal record and no history of antisocial conduct before the offense. He has no history of box use. Mr. Dominus was raised in a religious home. Mr. Dominus' father worked in mechanics at the Greymore Transit Commission. He died in 2009. In 2021, at the time of the offense, Mr. Dominus had legal custody of 2-year-old son of his niece. Oh man. Mr. Dominus later moved in with his brother after leaving his apartment at 123 Crossroads Drive, the location of the killing. Mr. Dominus' history at 123 Crossroads Drive. Mr. Dominus lived at 123 Crossroad Drive from June 1st, 2015 until April 1st, 2020. He initially rented his unit with a female co-tenant, but by November 2015, he was a sole tenant of the unit. Mr. Venom Shake and his family moved into Crossroads on December 1st, 2017. They lived in Unit 2011, the unit directly above Mr. Dominus' unit. They did not know Mr. Dominus before moving into the building. Mr. Dominus made many complaints to the management of the building during his tenancy. In the fall of 2018 and winter of 2019, he sent numerous letters and emails complaining that neighbors were hitting his walls and floors late at night and early in the morning, making derogatory comments and spreading rumors about him. In addition to his complaints to the management, Mr. Dominus filed complaints with the landlord and tenant board about harassment and excessive noise. In February and June 2019, Mr. Domus repeatedly called the police to complain about the people living above his unit. He alleged that they were yelling and screaming through the vents, spreading rumors about him, calling him names. On June 4th, 2019, Mr. Dominus called police and told them that his neighbors were telepathic and communicating through his mind. He said his neighbors in the unit above were yelling at him constantly through the floors and from the balcony. He reported to the police he was taking medication, that he had been hearing voices in his head. A few days later, on June 17, 2019, he called the police to report that there were a lot of demonic things happening. He said that the people in units 121 and 221, the victim's unit, were calling him and saying they would kill him. He told the police that these people were telepathic. Mr. Dominus' diagnosis and history of psychiatric illness were defense. Mr. Dominus' only psychiatric admission to the hospital for this offense occurred on June 17, 2019. On that date, he attended the emergency department of the Berry Health Network, Crossroads campus. He was admitted from June 17th to June 19th. The hospital records disclose that Mr. Dominus presented with new onset auditory hallucinations and a robust system of delusions relating to people monitoring him and trying to hack his computer. He's been paranoid about his neighbors and has actually called the police and made complaints to the landlord and tenant board. The records note that he reported telepathic communication. He said that voices of his neighbors commanded him to wake up in the night and that the same people installed a device in his floor and ceiling that lowered his heart rate. The doctor at the hospital believed that Mr. Dominus was experiencing the first episode of psychosis. She prescribed medication and referred him to an outpatient program. Mr. Dominus did not take the medication and did not follow up with any psychiatric care. Mr. Dominus' writings and recordings. The police investigation of the offense includes extensive materials that Mr. Dominus had written and recorded concerning his perceived experiences at 123 Crossroads and his complaints about specific residents of the building, including the victim and his family. Mr. Dominus described being subjected to what he called voice to skull, V2K, directed energy weapons, and gang stalking. Mr. Dominus, in his writing and recordings, describes being harassed constantly. He identifies individual residents as responsible for the harassment and specifically blames Mr. Venomshake. He alleges that his harassers erased thoughts from his brain and are messing with his bodily functions. He writes extensively about synthetic telepathy and witchcraft. In a folder entitled Tolerance of What I Had to Hear and Deal With, dated November 28, 2021. Mr. Dominus writes that the people in Unit 211 were involved in the harassment. In the same document, Mr. Dominus writes, messing with my heart rate. As I had mentioned before it happened, watch this, and then my heart rate would slow down or start beating weirdly. They have also done this to my nephew, I would hold. And then they said that his heart rate would also be irregular, to the point I would hear him breathe differently. Okay, this is definitely made by ChatGPT, by the way. The veins would be messed with. Like, look at all of the way that they misspell things. They've been messing with my veins on my feet, and that's making it expensive. Who the heck allowed this to be posted? Like, come on, dude. My brain veins moving. They've been messing with my brain while I can physically feel the veins moving in my brain. It's assists to take information. They're definitely doing this to me while I'm asleep. And it's writing entitled words. There's occurring the offenders are paid back. For example, he writes, I'd be confident in killing them even by hand. I'm not afraid to state the truth. For the amount of disrespect that I've received already, this is far gone out of the police's hands. And the only way someone can get comfortable at being tormented is by killing those who are responsible and witness the perpetrators die before their face, just to secure back their privacy. Mr. Dominus also refers to self-defense and recordings. In War of Words, he writes, if I do anything, it's all in defense, and to help the greater cause. In his recordings during the months leading up to the murder, Mr. Dominus records videos for his family that explain that he goes to jail is for defending himself. He also made a recording that described people getting murder and self-defense mixed up and asserted that self-defense is justified. He embraces his defense against telepathy to war in the Isle of Vigil. In one recording, Mr. Dominus discusses the attacks on him through witchcraft and telepathy and his right to defend himself, saying you can go about it legally the right way. That's when he recorded that. Mr. Dominus interviews with the assessing psychiatrist. Mr. Dominus was interviewed before trial by Dr. Rude and Dr. Monarch as part of their assessment of his mental state. In the interviews, he described the attacks he believed carrying out to him as voices called V2K. According to Mr. Dominus, he first experienced hearing voices in 2018, but he described harassment beginning before that year. Mr. Dominus told the psychiatrist that he continued to experience what he described as attacks by telepathy even after he moved out to 123 Crossroads. He continued to experience the attacks and voices after the death of Mr. Venomshake and his arrest. Mr. Dominus understood the criminal charge against him blank. In his interviews with the psychiatrist, he denied killing Mr. Venomshake. He told Dr. Groot that the victim of the shooting was part of the voices tormenting him and that there were now less people involved. He also told Dr. Groot that he felt that he was a target and his life was in danger Dr. Groot asked him about passages in his writing that referred to Mr. Venomshake being able to stop him. He claimed to have no plan to do this. Although Mr. Dominus denied killing Mr. Venomshake, Dr. Groot asked him what would happen to him if he killed someone in self-defense. He said it would be up to the judge or jury what happened to him. Went on to say that he would put everything to the Lord and that he did not view it as wrong. Dr. Minnick asked Mr. Dominus about his issues with the residents of 123 Crossroads. Mr. Dominus started being harassed and surveilled. He describes residents doing demonic things. Dr. Minnick asked Mr. Dominus about his writings in the World Wars appeared to acknowledge that society might punish him if he defended himself against enemies. He said, I'm trying to mention in the state of one going through something or with someone. You need to protect yourself, protect your life, and defend you and your family. Dr. Minnick asked Mr. Dominus if there could be moral justification for self-defense that causes other harms. He said, you may justify certain things you're going through if it is according to the law of the Most High. Another point, Mr. Dominus said to Dr. Minnick, self-defense is not murder. Prior to trial, Mr. Dominus did not describe the psychiatrist his thoughts at the time that he killed Mr. Venomshake. When he testified at trial, Mr. Dominus was merely kidding Mr. Venomshake and explained his motivation for doing so. Both Dr. Groot and Dr. Minnick listened to Mr. Dominus' testimony and re-interviewed him before they testified. Mr. Dominus' testimony. Mr. Dominus testified at length about voices in his head and his belief that they were the voices of residents of Crossroads. He spoke of voice to skull and synthelepathy. He gave lengthy and often unresponsive answers to questions. He returned frequently to the things of synthetic telepathy and direct energy weapons. Mr. Dominus admitted that he had gone to 123 Crossroads with his gun intending to shoot Mr. Venomshake. He described doing so. Mr. Dominus said that he targeted Mr. Venomshake because he was the only person that Mr. Dominus was 100% sure was involved in tormenting him. Mr. Dominus repeatedly described the incident when he was walking outside and hearing the voices and saw Mr. Venomshake and his family on their balcony. The incident convinced him that Mr. Venomshake and his family were involved. Mr. Dominus said that shooting Mr. Venomshake and would likely kill him. He shot him intending to kill him. He planned to kill him by taking his gun to the building and then following Mr. Venomshake's car when he saw it turning into the driveway and underground parking garage. Mr. Dominus was questioned about the time he was active shooting Mr. Venomshake. The voices had been active for over 2 years, and Mr. Dominus was asked to explain why he chose to take action November 21. Mr. Dominus testified that a new year was coming, and he could not let the attacks on him continue for another year. He said that close in time to the shooting, there was an incident where he's holding his nephew, and his nephew stopped breathing. At the same time, the voices said, watch this. He said, I would say the experience I'm more sensitive with my nephew with the heart situation. Most of the stuff was only happening to me. So when I started seeing it, that's when he was born, 2020 in August. That's when more things happened outside of just, and so it increased. He was asked if the incident with his nephew happened in 2020. He said correct. However, at another point, he said that the incident with his nephew occurred close to the time of the shooting. I feel bad for that kid. It was clear from Mr. Dominus' testimony that he believed that his actions were justified. He described himself as acting in self-defense to protect himself and his family, although he agreed that he was not facing immediate physical threat from Mr. Venomshake when he shot him. He was cross-examined about his comments to Dr. Minnick that around the time of the shooting, Mr. Venomshake did not feel that he was being physically attacked, but only verbally attacked in his mind, and he would not find it justifiable to make videos and spoke of telepathy, would not find it justifiable to retaliate physically. Mr. Dominus explained that he was not forthcoming in his interviews. He lied to the psychiatrist when he denied the killing, and as a result, he did not explain to them his reasons for the killing. He said, no, in regards to Dr. Minnick, I never told them I killed, so that wouldn't be relevant, no point of that. Mr. Dominus agreed that at the time that he killed Mr. Venomshake, he felt angry. He agreed that the anger and visions were part of his motivation for killing. Was asked if he realized that society thinks what he did was wrong, responded, well, I could care less what society thinks, I'm a man of my own, I'm not looking for friends and no favor. I'm a man of honesty too, and integrity as well, so I know what I believe and stand firm, And if it was a real society that's out there, who's actually the ones going through it? They would actually agree with more than anything. Mr. Dominus was taken to his document entitled, Only If I Get Caught, Read. It was put to Mr. Dominus that he wrote the document because he did not believe that society as a whole would understand his actions. He said, not like that in the sense of society, only those within the society who are going through certain things care for certain things. He was asked if he recognized that society might have an opinion what he did. He responded, I acknowledge that. Hopefully they can see both sides and see it and understand what another man is going through before you paint the picture. Read both sides before you paint that picture, and you'll get a better understanding and clarity of what happens. If I'm outside and I'm hearing this story, I'm bringing on my side all that matter because, again, I don't know these people, and somebody in society would have the realness to understand that more than, you killed somebody. Why did I kill him? Why? What were the steps that were taken for me to kill him? I didn't care for society. Society didn't care for me. I'm struggling going through the pain and suffering of somebody torturing me 24/7. The only ones within society could relate to was those people going through it, my own people. The Crown asked Mr. Dominus, but at the same time, you'd agree with me that you recognize that other people might not understand this. Mr. Dominus said 100%, because they're going to look at you as crazy. They're going to label you just like we went to the hospital. Psychosis. Mr. Dominus testified that he was a religious man. He believed that it was wrong to kill except in circumstances there's self-defense or okay, this was a long one. Sorry about that. But Mr. Dominus's case is a very unique one because I feel like there's so many cases like this in real life that they're not taken seriously, especially when it's involving mental illness and mental health. Because, there's just so much stigma around mental illness and, the entirety of the world of mental health. And I feel like it wasn't until maybe the 2010s, when people actually started to look at mental health and mental illness in a different light. But it's still stigmatized in the criminal justice system. I'll say that much right now. And this is just a prime example of it because there's so much cases like this in real life that happen. And personally, I think that who's to really blame here is the people that knew what Mr. Dominus was going through, and they didn't do anything. They allowed him to continue to suffer, even despite calling the police, calling the tenant board, calling the management. They knew what he was going through, okay? And they chose to ignore this. And I feel like because of that, they should also be held accountable for this situation. But that doesn't always happen, When it comes to cases like this, there's always people knew what was happening, but they chose to ignore it. They chose to sit back and watch it all happen. And that's why this stuff happens, because we don't do anything to intervene. We just see oh yeah, he's crazy, don't worry about him. But I feel like if someone stepped up for this guy, it was yeah, this guy needs someone to talk to, he needs help, and he needs to see that he's not alone in this, and just help him, But yeah, it's frustrating to read about because that's all you see when it comes to cases like this. And people like Mr. Dominus struggle with mental health, and as a neurodivergent myself, yeah, that's basically all we deal with. So I'd have to say that he's not guilty under count of mental disorder. Thanks for playing. If you would like to donate, you can in-game passes. Sinhaleseunit. Okay. I just want to clarify on Mr. Dominus and being, having mental illness and, the importance of mental health, and especially if you're neurodivergent like me, because there's so many of us out there, There's so many of us, currently struggling in silence of what we're going through, and there's no one there, We don't have the help, the resources that we need because, mental health is so underfunded, especially here in America. And, I just want to say this, you are not a bad person for being mentally ill, okay? I just want everyone to know that right now. You are not evil. You are not a bad person, It's just, this is who we are, and it's hard to deal with. I know I struggle on a daily basis, but, it's just, this is who we are as people, and we need to accept ourselves and love ourselves first before anything else. And, when there's no one there to help you or to save you, sometimes, you really got to take it upon yourself to do something about it. And it's not always easy. I know, but it's the truth. And I feel like, I hope that one day, that mental health will be taken more seriously, because there's going to be more people like Mr. Dominus out there who are allowed to just fall so far in society. And when that happens, there's going to be people out there who are going to be like laughing at you and mocking you and, villainize you for falling that far, and for, doing the things that you do and the things that, that Mr. Dominus did, because they chose to ignore what you're going through, and they choose to turn a blind eye to it. And that is why there's a huge mental health crisis. It's because of that exact problem right there. And I hope that those who read this and watch this, I hope that you can understand Mr. Dominus, especially, us, especially having mental illness and all that. So I just wanted to say that because it's really important, and I really like this game, and I'm proud of sinhaleseunit for shedding light on this situation, and I hope to see more games like this in the future. And that's all I have to really say for now. So I'll make sure to subscribe if you like the video. I will be hopefully posting more eventually. So see you guys in the next one.